So today we will continue to talk about some application problems, okay? And that is involving the variations, different types of variations, okay? Variations, there are actually 4 types of variations, okay? The two basic types, just simple direct variation and simple inverse variation. Okay, and then there are 2 mixed type. One is the joint variation, that will be multiplying or dividing together. And the last one is partial variation. Okay, so that is partly something, partly something. Okay, and then the parts will be added together. Okay, so嗱，其實就係得呢4隻嘅 variations 嘅啫，咁2隻就係基本嘅就係 direct variation 同埋 inverse variation， 然之後後邊2隻咧就係撈埋一齊嘅。OK， 如果係 jointly 嘅話咧，咁就係乘或者除埋一齊嘅。但係如果係 partial variation 嘅話咧 ，partial variation 咁咧。其實就係加埋一齊嘅 ，OK。咁我哋今日咧就講多幾題嘅 application problems 啦。Let's go back to page 6.35. Okay, 6.35 of the textbook, and so let us talk about example 18. Example 18. So the monthly operating expenses $C of a company are divided into 2 parts. 好啦，嗱，見到 keyword 咯，見到 part 呢個字咯，係嘛 ？One part is a constant, and the other part varies directly as the number of employees n. Okay, so there are 2 parts. And first, we will let the subject to be C, right? So let C be the sum of 2 parts. The first part, if it is about part, then we are not going to use K as the letter, as the unknown. We are going to use A and B, okay, to be the unknowns, okay? So the first part is a constant, just a constant, so it's just an A, plus the other part. The other part varies directly as the number of employees n. Okay, it is a direct variation. Okay, so it should be B times n, just like this, right? So where A and B are not equal to 0. Okay. And then we are going to find groups of numbers from the question. Okay, so the monthly operating expenses are $295,000 when there are 20 employees. So this 295,000 means the monthly operating expenses, which means that it will be substituted into C. And then there are 20 employees. Number of employees is in the N. Okay, so we are going to put this group of numbers. C equals 295,000, and then N equals 20 into our equation. Okay, so 295,000 is equal to A plus B times 20. Okay, and then just do the simplify the every term. So A plus 20B, right? 20B. And then just write the unknowns on the left, the number on the right, and label this to be equation 1. Get it? And then what should be the second group of numbers? I think it's very obvious. Okay, the expenses are $415,000 when there are 30 employees. So we put C to be 415,000 and N to be 30. okay, into our equation. So 415000 is equal to a plus b times 30. And then simplify every term, so a plus 30b. And write the unknowns on the left. And label this to be equation 2. 係嘛？都係做慣做熟㗎啦，應該。Okay, so let me paste it here first. Part A. And now we have equation 1, equation 2. And then notice that the A terms are exactly the same. So we can do the subtraction on the equation. 2 minus 1. The A terms are completely cancelled. And then the B terms will be 30B minus 20B becomes 10B. And the right-hand side, 415,000 minus 295,000, it should be 120,000. Okay, and then B is equal to 12,000. When we have found the value of B, we just substitute the value of B into equation 1. Okay, so A plus 20 times this B is equal to 295,000. Okay, simplify the term first. 24,000 is this number. Okay, and then A can be calculated to be 55,000. Okay, yes, I think it's correct. Okay, and then we just write down the complete information of the equation. Therefore, C is equal to 55,000 plus 12,000 times N. And that is the answer of part A. Okay. OK 因為同之前嗰啲題目咧，即唔係文字睇嗰啲題目咧，基本上做法係完全一樣嘅，係嘛？我哋根本就冇牽涉到啲文字喺度嘅，成個 A part 嘅計算係咪？咁只不過咧，即係佢有個處境喺度，咁嘅時候咧，我哋就即係要識得即係邊個數字代入去邊一個英文字母嗰度咁解嘅啫。OK， 其實你究竟呢條題目嗰個處境係講緊啲乜嘢嘢，根本就唔重要嘅，係嘛？因為呢度咧，我哋已經見到晒啲 keywords 㗎啦，咩 one part is a constant 啊 ，the other part varies directly as 乜嘢嘢啊咁樣樣，呢啲 keywords 根本就唔關嗰個處境事嘅。OK， 得唔得？咁所以咧，我哋根本就即係完全唔明條題目係講緊乜嘢嘢咧，我哋都可以完全做到呢條題目㗎噃。所以我就係話呢一課咧。係成個 DSE 最好做嘅 topic 嚟㗎啦 ，OK 得唔得？縱使係文字睇都唔會十分之難嘅，唔會話完全難到我哋列唔到式啊，或者計唔到數嘅 ，OK？ 因為咧你一定要認住嗰啲 keywords， 即係 one part is constant 啊 ，the other part 係究竟係 directly 啊定係 inversely 啊，就係咁嘅啫。好，睇下 part B 搞啲咩咯。If the monthly operating expenses cannot exceed $500,000, find the maximum number of employees。好啦，嗱呢度咧佢俾咗一個條件，俾咗一個限制你 ，OK？ 即係話咧 ，I want the monthly operating expenses cannot exceed this number。嗱，我望呢條題目咧就好清晰嘅。即係因為呢個咧唔使諗任何嘢嘅，唔使用腦嘅。咩意思咧 ？Monthly operating expenses 即係指咩啊？即係指個 C 咯。呢個係講緊個 C 係咪 ？Cannot exceed 中文就係唔能夠超過，即係唔能夠大過50萬。唔大過50萬，你要記住呢個世界有3樣嘢嘅，一係大過，一係等於，一係細過。唔大過嘅話咧，即係細過或者等於。OK， 咁所以咧呢一度咧我好清晰嘅就係呢一個符號，即係個 C is less than or equal to 細過或者等於咩數啊？咪50萬咯，咁樣樣。 Okay, do you understand what I mean here? It's very, very, very clear. Okay, you do not need to think. You do not need to judge. Okay, you do not need to determine anything. You just need to translate. Okay, the monthly operating expenses in this question means the unknown C cannot exceed, means it's not larger than, means it can be smaller than or equal to. So I use this inequality symbol. And then cannot exceed 500,000. So it should be less than or equal to 500,000. Okay, so now we start from this, C less than 500,000. But what is C? C has been found to be 55,000 plus 12,000 times N. So I just changed the left-hand side to be 55,000 plus 12,000 times N. It's less than or equal to 500,000. Okay? And this is an inequality involving the N. And then we can just solve the inequality for N. Okay? Subtract the 55,000 to the right-hand side. Okay? It becomes, 係幾多睇先啊？445，明係嘛？ Am I correct? 撳機先。Yes, should be correct. Okay, and then divide the 12,000 to the right-hand side. And that should be equal to 37 and 1 over 12 on the right-hand side. Okay, 37有12/1。你哋撳到呢一個數字咧 ？OK， 係啦。咁但係咧，咁如果 n 係要細過或者等於嘅話咧 ，n 係代表啲咩嘅咧 ？n 係代表個 number of employees， 即係有幾多個員工噶嘛。咁要少過或者等於37有12/1。但係員工嘅數目係唔能夠係份數嚟嘅 ，OK？ 咁所以咧一定要係整數嚟嘅，一定要係正整數嚟嘅。咁然之後問你 find the maximum number of employees， that is find the maximum value of n。Okay, if n is less than or equal to 37 and 1 over 12, then the maximum value of n is 37. Okay, or you just write the maximum number of employees is 37. Okay, and that is the answer of part B. Can you get this? 得唔得？嗱，呢度咁樣就5至6分㗎啦 ，DSE 超正啊！呢題目 ，OK。好，嗱，跟住俾你試一試先。Instant drill number 18. So please do instant drill number 18. I give you 5 minutes. Please remember to upload to the Math app.慢慢做啊！呢啲一定要小心啲做，因為呢啲題目咧一定做到嘅，大家一定識做嘅，應該話識做嘅題目，我哋就唔好俾佢有一啲 careless mistakes 去到扣我哋分啊。OK， 所以咧擺多少少，慢慢做，做啱佢咁樣樣。嗱，呢個 classwork 仍然都係琴日嗰個 classwork 嚟嘅。咁我其實開咗一個新嘅 classwork 俾你哋嘅。咁但係就未需要做住，應該我哋完咗呢幾題嘅時候咧，咁先至去新嘅 classwork 啊。 Okay, let's check the answers. So the printing cost $C of a magazine is divided into two parts. So we are going to let C to be the sum of two parts. One part is a constant. So the first part is just a constant. So just put an A to this. And then the other part varies directly as the number of magazines printed N. Varies directly as N. So just B times N, okay? Where A and B are not equal to 0. And then we need to find two groups of numbers from the question to put into our equation to set up equation 1 and equation 2. So the first group of number is that it's given that the printing cost of 10,000 magazines is $125,000. So this is 10,000 magazines. That is the number of magazines. That is N. Okay, so we are going to put N to be 10,000. And the cost is 125,000. So that is C. C equals 125,000. Okay, so 125,000 is equal to A plus B times 10,000. Okay, and then A plus 10,000 B. Right, unknowns on the left and numbers on the right. Label this to be equation 1. And the second group of number is very clear. Is that we need to put N to be 15,000 and C to be 185,000. Okay, and the equation becomes 185,000 equals A plus B times 15,000. Okay, simplifying the numbers, A plus 15,000 B, and then write the unknowns on the left and the numbers on the right. Label this to be equation 2. And then let me paste to the OneNote first. Okay, and notice that from equation 1 and equation 2, we have the A terms being exactly the same. Okay, so we are going to do the subtraction on the equation. Equation 2 minus equation 1 to cancel out the A terms. Okay, A terms are cancelled, and then the B terms, we have 15,000 B minus 10,000 B. So what's remaining is just 5,000 B. And on the right-hand side, we have 185,000 minus 125,000. So the difference is 60,000. And then we can easily find the value of B by using the calculator, and it should be equal to 12. Okay, when we have found the value of B, and then we substitute the value of B into equation 1 to calculate the value of A. So A plus 10,000 times 12 is equal to 125,000. Simplifying the numbers like this. And then A is equal to 5,000. When we have found the values of all the unknowns, then we can write down the complete information of the equation. Therefore, C is equal to 5,000 plus 12N. And that is the answer of part A. Okay? And then part B. 18,000 magazines are now printed and sold for $15 each. At least how many magazines should be sold such that there is no loss? 好啦，嗱呢度咧打粒星落去喎，打粒星落去啊！呢度咧就真係要理解咗條題目講啲乜嘢嘢咧，我哋先至可以知道點樣做嘅。而家咧，我哋想印製。而家係即係印啲雜誌啦，係嘛？即係成條題目嘅處境就係印雜誌啦。然之後成本 ，OK， 一本雜誌嘅成本就係 C 咁多錢 ，OK 得唔得？咁我哋可以印即係想印 N 咁多本嘅時候咧，我哋就會計每本雜誌嘅成本係幾多錢啦 ，OK。但係而家呢度咧，首先睇清楚喎，我而家想印嘅係18,000本雜誌。即係個 N 咧係等於18,000，咁我哋係咪可以代翻入去呢一條式嗰度，去到計翻個 C， 即係每本 係幾多先？咁樣樣 ，OK， 好啦，嗱我哋計咗個 C 出嚟先啊，即係咧 when n is equal to 18,000, the C is calculated by 5,000 plus 12 times 18,000. OK， 先。Oh yes， 咁我撳一撳機咯。Should be equal to 221,000. Is it correct? This is the printing costs. The printing costs, okay, of 18000本嘅 printing costs 就係咁多啦，係嘛 ？Total printing costs。好啦，咁而家咧，我想每本係賣15蚊，我嘅成本啊，總成本我已經用咗啦，221000蚊，用咗221000蚊，係咪？咁如果我想每本係賣15蚊嘅話咧，要賣幾多本咧，先至係令到佢冇損失咧？係嘛？點為之冇損失咧？冇損失嘅話咧，即係個 selling price is larger than or equal to the cost price， 即係咁樣樣。Okay， no loss means the total selling price is larger than or equal to the total cost price. OK， 我賣我嘅售價總售價，即係賣晒所有出嚟之後 ，OK， 得翻嚟嘅錢，如果多過我投資出去嘅錢嘅話咧，咁咪冇蝕咯，係嘛？等於都冇蝕嘅，係嘛？打成平手都唔算係蝕嘅，即係淨係得少於個 total cost 嘅話咧，咁就為之蝕錢啦。get 到可？好啦，咁如果15蚊一本售價嚇，咁我要賣幾多本先至可以？而家要賣嘅係唔知幾多本啊嘛，係嘛 ？OK， 但係我哋知道咧個 total cost price 咧，因為我哋已經印咗18000本啦，個 total cost price 就係221000蚊。OK， 咁我哋咁樣做啊，我哋咧 let n 大家 n be the number of magazine should be sold。OK， 應該要賣嘅雜誌嘅數目。OK， 好啦，咁而家咧，我賣咗 n， 即係要賣大家 n 咁多本啦，而每本係15蚊喎，所以個 total selling price 咧係咪應該係15 times n？OK，we have n copies of magazines being sold, and each of them, the selling price is $15. Then the total selling price should be equal to 15 times n. And because I want it to be no loss, so my total selling price should be larger than or equal to the total cost price. That should be equal to 221,000. Okay? And then when you use the calculator to divide the 15 to the right-hand side, and you'll find that it should be equal to 14733 and 1/3. So n should be larger than or equal to this number. But n is the number of magazines. It should be a positive integer. Okay? So the question asks you at least, that is, what is the minimum number of magazines? Okay? If n is larger than or equal to this number, then therefore the least number of magazines should be sold is 最少要幾多本啊？應該係咪14734啊？應該得唔得？因為要大過呢一個份數啊嘛。OK， 得唔得？咁所以咧最少 要賣到14,734本雜誌，先至可以令到咧，先至可以 cover 到我哋嘅成本嗰22.100蚊嘅，得唔得？當然啦，如果呢個售價係唔係15蚊，而係16蚊嘅，或者再高啲20蚊嘅話咧，咁呢一個呢個數字咧，即係呢個賣幾多本咧，呢個數目咧就可以少啲啦，係嘛？唔使咁多啦，都可以 cover 到成本啦，係嘛？即係嗰個售價越高嘅話咧，我哋所需要賣到嘅書本嘅數目咧就會越低啦，去到 cover 到個成本啦。OK， 但係而家呢個情景底下咧，15蚊一本嘅話咧，我哋就需要最少賣到呢個數目嘅雜誌啦。Okay, so that is the answer of part B. 得唔得 ？Okay, number 19. Example 19. 好，我哋繼續咯。嗱，呢度咧，我花咗好多嘅時間去講嘅喎。如果你有留意嘅話，係嘛？即係喺呢一課啊，我意思，我花咗好長嘅時間嘅。咁希望你可以 feel 到咧，其實係好重要嘅。Okay? Number 19. So at t second after J throws a javelin, the height of the javelin above its starting position is h meter. 我哋有 t 有 h 嘅，咁先係嘛？好啦，跟住咧，佢哋嘅關係點樣咧 ？It is given that h partly varies directly as t, and partly varies directly as the square of t. Okay, so can you see the keywords partly? The first part. So this is given that h partly varies, which means that h should be the subject. So we have let h be the sum of two parts. Okay, the first part partly varies directly as t should be a times t because it is direct variation, so we do not need fraction. And then plus the second part partly varies directly as the square of t. Okay, careful about this word, the square of t. And it is direct variation. But this time we have to use another b times t squared. Okay, and then where a and b are not equal to 0. Okay, and then we need to find two groups of numbers from the question to set up two equations. But it is very clear that the first group of number is t equals 2, h equals 30. So we put t equals 2 and h equals 30 into our equation. So 30 is equal to a times 2 plus b times 2 squared. Simplifying each term first is equal to 2a plus 4b. And then, can you see that there is a common factor which can be cancelled by each other? So the common factor is 2. So we cancel out 2 from each term. So 30 over 2 is 15, and then 2a over 2 is 8, plus 4b over 2 is 2b. Sorry, 2b. And then write the unknowns on the left, the numbers on the right, and label this to be equation 1. Okay? And then for the second information is when t is equal to 4 and h is equal to 20. So we just put t equals 4 and h equals 20 into our equation. So 20 is equal to a times 4 plus b times 4 squared. And then simplifying each term, 4a plus 16b. And notice that 4 is a common factor of every term in this equation. So we may divide each term by 4. Now, so 20 divided by 4 is 5. 4a over 4 is 8. 16b over 4 is 4b. And then write the unknowns on the left, write the number on the right. Okay? And label this to be equation 2. Okay? And then notice that from equation 1 and equation 2, we can see that the a terms are exactly the same. So again, we just use the subtraction of the equation, using equation 2 to minus equation 1. The A terms are completely cancelled by each other, and then B terms will be 4B minus 2B, that is 2B. And on the right-hand side, we have 5 minus 15, careful. 5 minus 15 should be negative 10 this time, okay? 嗱，唔一定係大減細嘅喎，係嘛？知唔知啊？可能會即係我哋睇清楚係邊條式減邊條式嘅，邊條式嘅數字減邊條式嘅數字，邊條式嘅 B term 減邊條式嘅 B term 咁樣樣，要跟翻我一開始講咗係2式減1式嘅話咧，咁我哋每一個 term 咧都係用2式嘅 term 減1式嘅 term 咁樣樣。Okay, so B is equal to negative 5. And you have found the value of B, so we can substitute the value of B into equation 1. Okay, so we have A plus 2 times negative 5 equals 15. A minus 10 equals 15, which means that A should be 25. Okay, and then we just write down the complete information of the equation. Therefore, H is equal to AT, that is 25T, plus BT squared becomes minus 5T squared. Okay, and that is the answer of part A. Can you get this? And then part B. When H is larger than 30, find the range of values of T. 好啦，嗱呢度咧就有啲考一考你嘅咯噃。OK， 考你啲咩咧？睇清楚啦。H this time 嗱，佢唔係俾你，佢唔係話俾你聽 H 等於幾多。以往我哋做開咧就係其中一個等於幾多，跟住叫你計另一個嘅。但係今次咧係話俾你聽 H 大過30，咁我哋可以點做咧？咁冇嘢嘅 ，H 大過30，我哋個 H 咧係咪計到係 25T minus 5T squared？ So we just change the H to be 25T minus 5T squared. This is the H, right? The expression of H, the formula of H. When H is larger than 30, then this H is also larger than 30. Okay, so can you see that it is a quadratic inequality? Quadratic inequality, 二次不等式。咁嘅時候咧，我就會用嗰個 happy face 嘅 method 喎，係嘛 ？Okay, but first we need to move all the terms to the side where the square term is positive first. Okay, the square term t squared is negative here, so we are going to move all the terms to the right hand side. Okay, so leaving the 0 on the left, and which is larger than 5t squared, and then minus 25t and plus 30 on the right. Okay, and we write it on the left, 5t squared minus 25t plus 30. Because 0 is larger than this expression, which means that when I write this expression on the left, it should be less than 0. It's okay? 好，呢度咧黐咗上嚟先啦。跟住記唔記得點做啊？我哋會跳去一個 draft 嗰度嘅。We just jump to the draft paper. But this time we have A equals 5, B equals negative 25, and C equals 30, right? And then we use the formula 1. Formula 1, and I think it should be, let me see, formula 1. Okay. 5, negative 25, and then 30. And should be 3. So X should be 3. Or 2. But this time it is not X, it is T. So just write T. Don't write X. Okay? And then we draw a happy face. Remember this? Happy face. And then we have two numbers here. The smaller number is the one on the left. That is 2. And then the larger number is the one on the right. That is 3. Get this? Okay, and then it is divided into 3 parts. 記唔記得呢隻啊？ 3 parts. The left part means t less than 2. And then the middle part is 2 less than t less than 3. And the right part is t larger than 3. It is always like this. The pattern is always like this, okay? And which part are we going to choose in this question? We have to go back to the inequality, okay? This time we want 5t squared minus 25t plus 30 to be less than 0. Less than 0 means the part below the x-axis, okay? Which means that I need to choose this part. This part is below the x-axis, right? And then I have to answer this inequality. 2 is less than t is less than 3. Okay, therefore, 2 less than t less than 3. That is the answer of part B. 就係咁樣噶啦，得唔得？記住 draft 呢部分咧，完全唔需要寫嘅，唔需要寫喺個 solution 裏邊嘅，你就真係喺個 draft 度。不過要諗噶嘛，我哋都要係咪？一定要諗，即係一定要咁樣做咧，先可以諗到係個答案嘅。但係就唔好寫喺個 solution 裏邊，直接咧喺呢一條式之後就寫答案咧，就已經攞滿分噶啦。OK， 好啦，跟住 part C， 繼續咯。part C。 Can the height of the javelin above its starting position exceed 32 meters? The height is h, and this time I want to determine whether the height can exceed. Exceed means more than. Okay, can this be more than 32 meters? Can h be larger than 32? 咁我哋咁樣做啦。我哋咧就話我哋想個 h is larger than 32， 咁我哋睇一睇咧有冇答案 ？OK， 有冇答案？如果係有答案嘅話咧，咁就 OK 嘅，即係咁即係 yes 嘅，得唔得？如果係 no solution 嘅話咧，咁咪答 no 咯。即係我哋根據呢一個要求，睇下揾唔揾到 solution 係嘛？佢問你 can 啊嘛，即係 yes no question 啦。可唔可以即係以下呢個情況可唔可以發生到？咁我就將呢個情況擺咗出嚟，睇下揾唔揾到 solution 啊 ？OK， 得唔得 ？H larger than 32. I want H to be larger than 32, but what is H? H is 25t minus 5t squared, and then I want it to be larger than 32. And again, it is a quadratic inequality. And we do the same thing. We move all the terms to the right-hand side. 0 is larger than 5t squared minus 25t plus 32. Okay? And then I write the expression on the left. 5t squared minus 25t plus 32 should be less than 0. Okay? And then we go to the draft again. And this time, again, we use the formula 1 first. For the draft part, this time, the A should be equal to 5, and then B should be negative 25, but C is 32. Okay, and let's see. You have got math error. Okay, math error means no solution. No solution. Okay, no solution, which means that if I want the h to be larger than 32, then there should be no solution. Okay, and then you just write down, therefore, no, it cannot be, it cannot exceed 32 meters. That is the answer. OK， 咁就唔使好似書咁樣啦，唔使好似書咁樣用completing square 咁樣嘅 ，OK， 唔需要啊呢度啊，你就咁話咗係 no solution 咧，就已經 OK 噶啦，得唔得？即係你撳到係 math error 之後，你就話係 no solution。 然之後所以係 no 嘅咁樣樣。OK， 得。All right, so I would like you to do the instant drill number 19 now. So let's do the instant drill number 19. So I give you 5 minutes to do this. 嗱，盡量做啊！呢個即係 A part 同埋 B part 咧，應該一定可以做到嘅。問題就係 C part 做唔做到咁解，做唔做到咁解嘅啫。OK。So classwork, instant drill number 19. 5 minutes. And please remember to upload to the Math app. Okay, let's check the answers. So h partly varies directly as t and partly varies directly as the square of t. So we just let h to be at plus bt squared, where a and b are not equal to 0. And first group of numbers is that t equals 2 and h equals 220. So just put into the equation and simplify the terms and cancel out the common factor and put the unknowns on the left and the number on the right and label this to be equation 1. And then the second group of numbers is t equals 5 and h equals 475. So put into the equation and then simplifying each term and then cancel out the common factor 5. Okay, it should be 95. It's equal to a plus 5b and put the unknowns on the left and the numbers on the right and label this to be equation 2. Okay, and then notice that from equation 1 and equation 2, the a terms are exactly the same. So we are going to do the subtraction on the equations. Equation 2 minus equation 1. The a terms and a terms are cancelled by each other. And then for the b terms, so we have 5b minus 2b. It becomes 3b. And on the right-hand side, we have 95 minus 110. So it should be a negative number. It should be negative 15. Okay. So b is calculated to be equal to negative 5. All right. And then we just substitute the value of b into equation 1. So a plus 2 times negative 5 is equal to 110. So a minus 10 is 110. So a should be equal to 120. So when we have found the values of the unknowns, so we write down the conclusion. Therefore, h is equal to 120t and then minus 5t squared. And that is the answer of part A. Okay, and then when in part B, when h is larger than 640, find the range of values of t. So we just set up the inequality according to the question. And then because we have already found the expression for h, so just change the left-hand side to be 120, t minus 5t squared to be larger than 640. And the t square term is on its negative side now. So we need to move all the terms to the right-hand side. Becomes positive 5t squared, but minus 120t and then plus 640. And this is a quadratic inequality. So we go to the draft part and use the formula 1, where a is 5 and b is negative 120 and c is 640. And then the calculator will give you what? Let me see. 16. T is 16 or t is equal to 8. Okay, so we have two numbers and that is good. So we can draw the happy face. Sorry. Draw a happy face and like this. And then the point on the left should be the smaller number. That is 8. And then the point on the right is the larger number. That is 16. And it divided into 3 parts. First, the left part is t less than 8. And then the middle part should be 8 less than t less than 16. And the right part should be t larger than 16. Okay? And I didn't move to the left because 5t squared minus 120 plus 640 should be less than 0, right? Okay? I should do one more step here. And this time, I need to choose the part below less than 0. That should be below the x-axis. Okay? And then we should write this inequality. Therefore, 8 should be less than t less than 16. So that is the answer of part B. Okay? In part C, a report claims that the height will not exceed 725. So let's check whether it is correct or not. Okay, so h will not exceed. So I want to check whether it can be exceed 725. Okay, but h again is 120t minus 5t squared. I want it to be 725 and to see whether it has solution or not. Okay, 5t squared minus 120 plus 725, and write this on the left. Less than 0. Okay, and go to the draft again. This time A is 5, B is negative 120, and C is 725. And then use the formula 1 again. 5, negative 120, and 725, and you get math error. Okay, that is good, which means that there should be no solution. Okay, so h cannot exceed 725. But the claim says that will not exceed. So this time it should be agreed. Okay, so it should be yes. It is agreed. Okay， 得唔得？因為今次真係 check 到咧，係唔可以即係大過725，係冇 solution 嘅，即係 h 唔能夠大過725啦。而佢講嘅嘢就係唔會超過725，所以我哋係應該 agree 佢嘅。OK， 得唔得？好嗱，今日有一份 homework，就係文字題，幾題嘅啫，5題嘅啫。OK，homework。Please do exercise 6E, question number 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. And please submit on next Tuesday, the 9th of March, Tuesday. Okay, so I will open the Math app for you. Okay, so if there is no more problem, then that is the end of this lesson and you may leave now. Goodbye.